All right. Carnivore Soldier, live from Austin, Texas. This time with a special guest, Carnivore Backwoods. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, sir. How you doing?
Great. We're in for a treat here. I've been on Carnivore Backwoods show a couple times, and he's got some great stories and insights. I've been on Carnivore Backwoods show a couple times, and he's got rookie mistake. I left my computer on in the background running YouTube. So anyway, just want to welcome you, man. So, John, why don't you tell us a little about yourself and about your channel, and we'll get going from there.
Okay. Well, my name is John, and I live out here in East Tennessee. I'm about 45 minutes north of Knoxville, Tennessee, tucked up here in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. The wife and I moved back to Tennessee here just about 10 years ago, and our goal was to find a place to buy and homestead. So we were searching for a while until we found this place. So we ended up buying, what is this one, 6 acres? So the main property is 9 acres. It's almost 10. And then we started working on this property, cutting trees down. It's all covered in woods. It's all backcountry here. You know, there was nothing been done to the property in years. And so we spent some time, trying to cut it down ourselves. And then I finally bit the bullet, and I hired a guy with a forestry mulcher and had him come out and forestry mulch about 1/3 of an acre, which I have a video on that I'm going to post back up. I had it up before, but I'm gonna re-edit it and post back up on my channel. But he comes in with this big skid steer, and it's got this rotary drum on the front of it. And he just comes in and he just literally mows trees down like they're grass, and he cleaned this whole property, the 1/3 of an acre, in 8 hours, right down to nothing but wood chips. No stumps, nothing to clean up, no brush pile. It was just all, covered in wood chips. So then we continued to develop the property, got a septic system on here, and moved my 32-foot camper trailer onto the property. And we've been living in that up until here the last year, when we built this cabin room addition onto the trailer. And, that's been a project. And then right now, the big goal and what we're going to start working on this fall is we're going to be building about 1,100 square foot cabin.
Nice.
And so we're doing it with a lot of it with wood off the property. I got a little sawmill, and most of this room that I'm in was built with timber from the property that we cut and milled ourselves. And we're going to use a lot of that for the cabin, though we ended up buying quite a bit of stuff that we had to get from a box store. But that's how we got out here on the property. And, I've always struggled with my weight, ever since I was a kid. When I was a little kid, I was pretty skinny, but, once I hit my teen years, I shot up to 6'2" when I was 13. But then I packed on, 100 extra pounds of weight that I didn't need. And then we moved out to Tennessee for a short period of time when I was about 17, and I worked on a cousin's farm, bucking hay all summer, and I got lean and mean.
Oh yeah,
that summer I lost a lot of weight. But the economy out here in Tennessee at the time was so bad that we decided to move back to Nevada, and I moved back to Nevada, and was back there for a few years, ended up, getting married, getting divorced, got remarried to my wife. Now we've been married 24 years this month. So we're getting ready to celebrate that.
Congrats.
And, we've raised 5 kids, and there's just got one left at the house. All the rest are out on their own. And, my weight has been creeping back up since right before we decided to move to Tennessee. And some of it was due to medicine, and changes of my statins, which led me to a bunch of problems. But slowly but surely, my weight just creeped back up. And by the time we got to Tennessee, I was pushing back over 200 and 200, 210. And I was struggling with it there, I could get it down to 300, and I get it back, go back up, and I just roller coastering back and forth. And then, that brings me to my statin. So I realized that the medicine I was taking was causing me muscle cramps. I was taking simvastatin, and I got irritated one night because I was having these major muscle cramps in my legs. They were horrible. They just literally bring you up in screaming pain. They were so bad. And I got on Google and I started Googling, what are the side effects? And I was going to go systematically through the medicines I was taking, and simvastatin was the first one I hit because it dawned on me that I started getting these muscle cramps after my doctor had changed my medicine onto it. So I found out through Google that the two major side effects of simvastatin is overeating and muscle cramps. So this drug that I'm taking, and I never really thought myself overeating, but I probably was. But the muscle cramps were horrible. I used to go out and swim. We were going out hiking. I had lost a lot of weight, and all that came back because I couldn't do that stuff anymore because these muscle cramps were just so debilitating.
Yeah.
So had a conversation with my doctor, said, hey, look, this is what I found, showed him what I was looking at. Of course, he wasn't completely in agreement with me, and he hemmed and hawed around it for a while and finally decided, okay, we'll come off the medicine, but we're going to monitor your cholesterol. And if it goes, sky high, or we're going to put you back on cholesterol medicine. In the back of my head is like, no, we're probably not going to do that. But okay, doc, whatever you say, is what I said out loud, and came off the medicine. And, we, over the next few weeks, I noticed that the muscle cramps started to reside. They weren't as bad, but it took quite a while. And I still get them from time to time where I'll just get a muscle cramp, but they're nowhere near as bad as they were. And they're a heck of a lot better since I started carnivore. I still get them in the middle of the night. I'll wake up and I'll have to stand up and stretch my legs out because it's just like the muscles just want to contract.
I get those and I take magnesium for them. I had one this morning. It's right on the top of my foot sometimes, like right at my ankle, I'll get one.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question though. So you said you yo-yoed on your weight before you came carnivore. What diets did you try and what were your challenges with those that caused you to fail that you've been successful at this? What's the difference?
So, I mean, I didn't try a lot of diets. The biggest one I did, other than, when I was younger and I was on the beer and pizza diet, the biggest one I did there before I got my weight back down and I was looking really good and managing it, is I got Fitness Pal on my phone and I just started counting my calories and every calorie, consuming, and then I was pushing myself to burn as many calories as possible. I bought an elliptical. I had it, I had it set up in the house, and I was on that thing, for 45 minutes to an hour almost every night. And then, on the weekends, we were going and hiking up on, the Pacific Crest Trail. We were up in the smoke, up in the Sierra Mountains, hiking. We were going to different places and burning an immense amount of calories up there. And it brought me down to, I want to say 250, 265 range, which is about 10 pounds lighter than I am now. So I'm almost there. I'm hoping to make it there before the end of the year. That'll be a good milestone for me.
That sounds absolutely miserable to me, to count every calorie. I did that too. I've done the macro thing, and to me, it's terrible. It's not sustainable.
You're basically starving yourself, and the problem with calorie counting, and they don't really tell you this until you just learn it yourself. But I'm getting all these live messages on my computer. I'm sorry. I don't know if you can hear it in the background.
I don't hear them. No.
Anyways, the problem is 500 calories of steak versus 500 calories of bread and butter and whatever else, there's a lot of difference in that. If you get 500 calories of steak, that's a lot of food. You're going to be you're going to be feeling pretty stuffed, but it takes a lot of salad to get you, to that level. And so the calories don't match up. That's why they don't work. You can't just count this number and say, I'm going to stay under 1,800, because I get to 1,800 just with a soda and a quick stop at the donut shop. I'll be halfway to 1,800, and there's no nutrition in it. You know,
Yeah, and calories aren't equal. You know, different.
Yeah, calories aren't equal, so they never make sense for the diet because what you're consuming is not an equal number. It doesn't actually add up to anything.
The other thing that's interesting is there's no animal alive in nature that restricts calories. There's no animal that does that. They just eat until they're done eating, until they're satiated. A lion, a dog, a cat, and then when they're satiated, they stop eating. And if they get hungry, they hunt.
Yeah,
that's the way we're supposed to be. We're not for us to be artificially getting an app. If you need to get an app and you need to blow into a thing to check ketones, you're doing it wrong, because that is not the way our body's wired. Our body's wired to run naturally, and this is the thing that does it for me anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I don't count macros. Everybody's like, "What's your macros? What are you doing this?" No, I don't care about that. I eat till I'm full. You know, we just had sirloin steaks and some scrambled eggs and some butter, and I ate till I'm full, and I'm completely happy with that. And I will go the next 24 hours before I probably eat again. You know, we did a 48-hour fast from Sunday to yesterday, and I had a big dinner, and that went well.
So I got a comment here from Callie. Hi, Callie. I don't think we've seen you before. Maybe we haven't. I just don't know you yet. But she said she cheated today. Had 2 ice creams. Stomach feels awful. Mind feels worse. How bad is this for me? Listen, everyone cheats. It's not even a cheat. A cheat is when you plan to do it, right? You didn't plan when you woke up this morning to eat ice cream, probably. So that is not a cheat. That's a slip and fall. You got off the horse. The best thing you can do is look at this as an opportunity to jump right back on. Okay, so don't beat yourself up and just say, okay, I made a mistake. Jump back on, start the diet again immediately, and then do a little self-analysis. Look at what your mindset, what your position was, what things might have caused, like a root cause analysis. Why did you cheat? Because I was hungry and I went to a grocery store when I was hungry or something, or I went to a friend's house, or and try to plan around that happening again and make it a lesson so that you don't do it again. Try to take away issues that cause you to get in a position where it's easy to cheat. Make it harder for yourself to cheat. What do you think, John?
I don't even view it as a cheat. So here's my thoughts on it. This is not a diet. Diet by definition means you're restricting yourself of food, you know, and lowering your caloric intake to, you know, to lose weight. This is a lifestyle.
Yep.
You know, and you're living a lifestyle. And, you know, just because, say, your lifestyle right now, you go to work every day, you come home, right? That's what you do every day. And then, you know, on the weekend, you decide to go to the beach. Will that mean you cheated on your work? No. It just means you enjoyed something, you know. But that's you know, that's my view on it. It's okay to enjoy and have an ice cream every once in a while. Now, if you don't like, if your body doesn't like the dairy and stuff, and that's what it sounds like to me in your comments, then you probably got a cue here to say, I probably shouldn't be consuming dairy.
Yeah.
Because my body didn't like it. Because if you were consuming ice cream and your body didn't like it, now it could have been the sugar, but I would be looking towards the dairy. I don't know how much sugar was in what you ate. But it's a lot, but I'll go back to, and I'll regress back to that. But I would just be looking at your dairy. But you know what? On my birthday, you know, which was here just a few weeks ago, the wife took us out to a nice steak dinner at the Chris Roof Steakhouse, and they did this whole thing, and it came out and sang happy birthday to me and stuff, whatever. But they brought out cheesecake. Did I snub it and say, no, I'm carnivore, I'm not going to eat that? No, hell yeah, I ate my cheesecake, and I enjoyed it. You know, did that mean that I cheated on my diet? I don't think so. I think that was my enjoyment, my reward for, you know, for working hard for where I am. And, you know, have I done it before? Yes.
Yeah.
Am I going to post a video on YouTube and declare that I cheated? No, I'm not going to do it because I don't view it as a cheat. I view it as a reward for where I've made it in my goals.
I mean, I would say that you want to, okay, it also depends on your personality, because like me, I'm not a moderator. When I open a thing of Oreos, I'm eating all the Oreos, or I'm trying to. I mean, or if I get a pizza, I'm eating all the pizza. I'm trying to, and I will. So for me, I know that it's like an alcoholic having a drink for me. That may not be for you.
And that's a fair assessment too, and that's a good point.
So if
it's going to cause you to spiral out of control, then you definitely don't want to do it.
then you have to treat it differently. So it's really a personal issue. Like for me, I will not eat any sugar because one, it's going to bring cravings back for me. I don't know if it does for everybody. And for another thing is like, I will go from that to the next thing and just continue on a binge. I'm a binge eater. On this diet, I'm not. So this helped me regulate my hunger controls. I appreciate that. And I do love ice cream. So I do make Dr. Kiltz's ice cream. And I'm going to make a recipe for that for y'all. But he has a recipe online where you can make sugar-free ice cream. I do make it occasionally for special occasions when friends come over and I cook ribeyes. I'll do some ice cream and just vanilla ice cream. And all it is egg yolks and heavy whipping cream. It's a custard basically in an ice cream machine with a little vanilla. And that gives you the texture and the flavor of an ice cream without the sugar. But you don't even need it when you've been away from sugar as long as me. It's sweet tasting without sugar.
So the weird thing for me is if I have anything with sugar in it, it immediately just tastes way too sweet.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my God, this is way too much sugar. It's just way too sweet. And the funny thing is like, so even now when I drink my coffee in the morning, I have a couple cups of coffee in the morning. The only thing I put in it is heavy whipping cream. The heavy whipping cream to me tastes sweet.
It's sweet, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's sweet. And that's the way it tastes to me. And I like it that way. I hate black coffee. And I never drank coffee without a ton of sugar or sweetener in it in all my life. Now on the carnivore diet, I'm drinking coffee, and all I'm putting in is, I take heavy whipping cream and I got a little whisper, and I wisp up the milk and make it a little more like whipped cream.
Yeah.
And then I pour the coffee on top of it, and that's the way I drink. 2 cups every morning, before I head to work. And that's cool. My morning ritual, and I like it, and it hasn't affected my diet yet. So I will continue on with it until I decide that it's bad for me. But right now, I like it.
I lost weight until I went from 280 to 250 in the first 100 days, and then I plateaued, and I continued to lose fat, but my weight stayed the same. And then I stopped losing fat and weight. I just kind of, for like 10 days, I was just at a plateau. So I went ahead and did the Lion diet at that point. And I'm like 48 days into it now. And so I was 48 days ago, and I lost 14 pounds in the next 3 weeks when I did that. So that's really cutting dairy out and cutting alcohol out. I didn't drink much. I drink maybe twice a week, bourbon, at home or something, or going out. But I think that was, so it can, a couple things that can definitely cause a plateau: dairy, alcohol, and sweeteners. Even artificial sweeteners can cause a plateau. So if you're plateaued out,
absolutely,
you can try getting rid of those. So those do an insulin response. Hey, one more thing, John, real quick. Kimberly had an ice cream sandwich fall off the horse too, she says, but she jumped right back on. That's the way you do it, Kimberly. That's exactly what you do. You just jump right back up and ride like you never fall off. Jump up and ride like no one saw you fall. That's the thing, right?
It was an enjoyment. It was a pleasure. It was something that you did and you move on, but if it's something that you can't control, then obviously you can't do it. It's, like you said, if it's like, if you're still addicted and the addiction is going to rule you, then you can't tempt the addiction.
So it's going to take some self-analysis. You're going to have to know yourself, and this diet will teach you about yourself. Guaranteed, 100%.
Yeah, it's like, Wick Goes Carnivores was talking about. He had here a couple of Sundays ago, he ended up having 1 slice of pizza. Well, that turned into 4 slices of pizza and a bunch of other stuff. He went completely derailed, off his diet, and he felt absolutely horrible afterwards. He had a bunch of issues dealing with it. So you definitely got to figure out what your body's telling you and whether or not you can do something or not. And then use that clues like that. If you feel bad after doing something like that, it's a good indication that your body's giving you a clue that there might be something there that you need to look at. And milk, we're the only species that drinks milk after infancy,
and from another animal's milk.
And we're the only, and I got to think about this. I don't know, and I've been raising livestock and animals, most of my life. I have never seen an animal try to get in and steal the milk of a cow.
Right.
I've seen other babies try to steal the milk of another cow, and that will happen, but you've never seen.
Oh, John's on Starlink, and he's out in the backwoods. That's why he's carnivore backwoods. So he freezes up sometimes. I'm glad you guys can still hear me. He'll be back in a second. Hey, thanks for the t-shirt order, Callie. That's awesome. I hope you like it.
Outstanding.
I'm rocking it right now. It's a great shirt. John's got a great shirt too. Hey, real quick before we keep going on this, John, I want to share your website here real quick. Let's see. So y'all like and subscribe to his channel as well. So he's at Carnivore Backwoods on YouTube, and I'm gonna bring that up and share it real quick. Share screen. There we go. All right. There we go. So that's Carnivore Backwoods. Go ahead and like and subscribe. He's got a lot of great content, and I show up on his show regularly. So do a lot of other YouTubers. We try to support each other. And like I say, you need to support the YouTubers by liking their content, trying to watch their videos all the way through. Even if the video's in the background while you're working, that really helps if you do that, because it gets your videos found on the algorithm and gets this video out to other people. Maybe you don't need to know the information, but there's someone out there that does. So John, why don't you tell me about your channel a little bit and what videos you got coming up or what events you got coming up on it?
Well, I got a couple things going on. One, this Sunday, we're going to have our Carnivore Roundtable. I was calling it the Carnivore Conversation, but I discovered somebody else was using that. So I decided to call it the Carnivore Roundtable. So on Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern, every week, we're going to have a roundtable discussion, 4 or 5 carnivore creators. And we're going to pick a topic or two, and we're going to discuss those topics. And then we're going to take questions from the chat audience and try to help people out. And that's the premise of that weekly episode, our weekly show. And then I have a live scheduled with Wick Goes Carnivore for next Wednesday. We're going to talk about meal prepping, and so that'll be a good show. And then I'm working on. I'm probably going to do a book review on Dr. Barry's latest book, Kicking Ass After 50. I'm 49, so
yeah,
I'm almost there. So I've been reading that book, and I'm almost done with it. And I'm going to do a book review on it, and I'll post that up. And then I purchased an air fryer, and so I'm going to do a review on the air fryer. Probably do an unboxing, whatever. I haven't.
Which one did you get?
Huh?
Which one?
What's that?
Air fryer.
That's a good question. Which one did I get?
Oh, you haven't got it yet. It's still coming, huh?
No, I ordered it. I did a bunch of research, and I got this one because I live off grid, and one of my big concerns with living off grid is power consumption. I got, right around 2,400, 2,800 watts of solar panels out there that provide my power, and I got a couple batteries to store it all. So the nice thing about this one is it's got a low, medium, and high setting, so you can set it at different watt levels. Like high is like 1,600 watts, and then medium was half of that, and then low was half of that. So it was.
So while you're looking, Callie asked about how important is it to buy grass-fed versus grain.
Mm-hmm.
So grass-fed, grass-finished. For one thing, you want it to be both, not just grass-finished, because a lot of times they can feed corn the whole time and just finish them with grass at the end. So that does make a difference in the omega-6 content in the meat and the linoleic acid, but it's not a big enough difference to make it where if you can't afford it, you should. You should buy ruminant animals that are grain-fed over pork or chicken, because it's better than that. And if you can get grass-fed, great. Some people don't like the flavor. You got to try that out. If you can't get it, I don't strictly buy grass-fed. I buy it sometimes, but not other times. So I'm a mix, and it's not going to make an impact on the performance, typically on the performance of your diet, unless you have some sensitivities, which may be unique to you. But as far as being a human being, grass-fed versus grain-fed, it's not a huge difference what all the doctors tell me too. So in my experience too. What about you, John? What do you think?
So, a calf from birth to slaughter weight is 18 to 24 months. Once a calf is born, it's born on pasture, it lives 90% of its life chewing grass. You know, there's nobody feeding cows from birth to slaughter weight grain because the meat would be so super expensive. Well, except for maybe except for that meat that you get out of Japan. What is it called? Wagyu? Or
yeah, that's really good.
That's,
by the way.
that's fed a lot of grain, by the way. That is grain-fed beef. That's where they get all that fat in there. So I don't know how long those are fed. I don't know enough about that to speak on it. But I could tell you that your cattle are living out on grass for most of their life. And then what grain finish is they bring them in and then they feed them a grain diet with a lot of carbohydrates to fatten them up and to put some marbling in the meat because it tenderizes it. And it improves the color of the fat and it improves the flavor of the fat, which makes it more marketable. All right. So that's been the way they've raised beef for hundreds of years. This isn't something new that happened recently.
Right.
What happened, and I was part of the farmers markets and raising livestock and stuff back in Nevada, is when you go to a farmer's market, how do you define your meat that you're selling versus the meat at the store? Well, the marketing slogan that was come up with was, there was a couple. There was farm to table. There was, grass fed. There was pasture raised. There was a lot of slogans that came out of that. There's no real regulations on exactly what that means. So you can get grass fed that spent its whole entire life out on grass. It's gonna taste funny. You're not probably gonna like the flavor. The fat's gonna be yellow. It's gonna have a yellowish color to it, and the flavor is gonna seem very gamey. And it also depends on the grass. Now, if you're eating grass in Tennessee, well, there's pretty nice grass around here. But if you're eating grass in the Nevada desert,
Texas,
Texas, that's not good grass, and it's pretty sparse, and it's not very nutritious. So grass-fed doesn't really mean as much as you think it does. And I'm an advocate of this. And I won't go because I could spend a lot of time talking about this because food and the grass-fed and whole food movement has been a thing of mine for a long time. But I'm an advocate of buy what you can afford.
Yes. 100%.
If all you can afford is to buy cans of Spam and hot dogs, and that's what it takes to make you healthy, then do it.
Yep.
Is it 100% good for you? Well, of course not. But it's better than the alternative. Yep. Anything's better than the standard American diet where we're just consuming carbohydrates. So do what you can afford.
Better. It's 1,000% better than the standard American diet.
If you go to the store and all you can afford is the cheaper cuts of meat, well, then get the cheaper cuts of meat. Add some butter. It'll get your fat levels up. Yep. Buy Chuck ground beef. Chuck ground beef is normally a 70-30%. So you get your 70% protein to 30% fat, which is perfect on this diet. Your other hamburgers are normally 80-20 or 90-10. That you're not getting enough fat. They're too lean. And ground chuck actually tastes better than the others. You get a much better burger if you get ground chuck. So I always recommend people to get chuck burger when they're looking for hamburger, and it's normally fairly cheap because it's a cheaper cut of meat. It's not sought after. It's not the ribeyes. It's not the porterhouse steaks. It's not sought after. For the price of it's normally half the price of the other steaks.
That's the way to do it.
And then I tell people, if you can afford it and you feel better physically, that it helps you to know that this cow lived out on pasture and was raised on a farm and it wasn't done through an industrial complex. And this helps you feel better about the consumption of meat because that's really all you're going to get out of it. I don't think you're going to get much nutrients difference between the two.
Right. Then
buy the grass-fed. I highly recommend that if you can do it, support a farmer because that farmer is living on pennies. If the guys that are selling beef, and it's to the processing plants and getting turned into the meat that we're buying at the store are getting pennies on the dollar for their product. But if you go support a farmer who's growing it himself, that's dollars in his pockets. It's going to help pay for his kids. It's going to help pay for putting clothes on his kids. It's going to help put his kids through school. That's good stuff. That's the reason to go get grass fed, not because there's some miracle that it's somehow going to be better than the other.
It's not going to give you better carnivore results typically. So,
no, it's not going to give you better carnivore results.
So the next question we have is from, or a statement is, butchers sell amazing fat trimmings. True. I went to my grocery store and asked what day they trim their steaks. And they told me, and I said, would you put the trimmings aside for me? And they did. And they sold it to me for 50 cents a pound. And
I haven't done that yet, but I've thought about it. And if you feel weird about it, just tell them that you're making dog food. They won't question you.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. What I do is I fry it up and put it on top of steaks and burgers. So I have a little extra fat to put on there, or butter. I put butter on my burgers too.
Somebody told me about cutting them up into chunks, put them in the air fryer, and
that's what I do.
Crispy, and then salting them. And that's supposed to be real, like little fat bombs. And
yep, and you can put them on top of a steak that way too. My son loves that because you always get extra crispy to go with the meat, which is super nice. It's extra fat, it's extra crispy, and it's great. So we have a bacon with nitrates question. I don't think there's any problem with that, and I think Dr. Barry's done a video on it, and he doesn't either, I believe.
There's actually more nitrates in the saliva in your mouth than it's in any of the bacon that you're eating right now. So unless you're going to stop swallowing your own spit, you don't have nothing to worry about, because it's a great video. Dr. Barry does it much better than I just said that, but that's what it really comes down to. It's a lie. It's a myth. You don't have to worry about the nitrates in there. Go just search it. Dr. Ken Berry. He did a really good video, explained it, in very simple terms. No, it's not a problem. I consume a lot of bacon. We all consume a lot of bacon. Too. People have been consuming bacon for many years.
When I started, I was doing a pound every couple of days. I would fry up a whole pound as a snack to get me through, because I had to snack until I got my hunger cravings under control, till like a month of snacking and eating 3 meals a day, and then slowly tapering off the snacking because I didn't want it anymore. And now I barely ever do it, but in the beginning I did.
The funny thing is, in the beginning of the diet, I was cooking bacon on a regular basis, and we were cooking 3 pounds at a time. I got bacon that's been in the freezer now for a month or longer that we just haven't even touched.
It doesn't seem appealing anymore, right? I mean, not like
it doesn't. I don't have the cravings for it.
Okay, it's time, guys. Time to try the bison liver crisps from Nose to Tail Provisioning. They sent it to me. I told them I'd try it online and let you know what I think. I don't eat liver. I've never been a fan of liver. In my adult life, I've never ordered it. I had it when I was a kid. And the last time I had liver in my adult life was I tried some liverwurst. I thought, well, when I was a kid, maybe I liked this. And I made a sandwich, immediately threw the tube away. I didn't like it at all. So we're going to try this out real quick, and I'm going to tell you what I think. Now, since I'm not a liver fan, and this is really like a supplement, right? This is not something you just eat the whole bag and snack on. This is something that you would add to your eating just to try to add organ meat to your diet. And it's crispy, so I'm going to give it a break, because I'm thinking, well, if it's crispy, it might be palatable for me. Just because if I don't like it, I'm not saying it's not good, because this is all grass-fed, finished buffalo, which
I'm all eyes on this one.
Yeah, everyone's going to see. Okay, the texture, it comes out. It's very crispy. It looks pretty good, actually. It actually smells good. I think they might have smoked it. So this may be something I can do. And if it is, I'll probably eat like one of these every 3 or 4 days, maybe. We'll see. Here we go. Very crispy. Not liver tasty. It tastes like kind of like a jerky, but a drier, very dry, very crunchy, like a chip. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, I will eat these. These are not bad. I wish it was a little saltier, but not bad, guys. Definitely, I will be putting a link to this on my page then. I don't put links on my website to things to sell that I don't use, and I think I would use this, so we'll see. I'll put a link there because I don't think it's bad at all. It doesn't taste livery, which I don't like liver, so that's a huge bonus. All right.
Put it up in the screen so I can see it. Bison liver crisps.
Nose to tail provisioning bison liver crisps.
All right.
Okay. The only feedback I have is I wish it was saltier, because I like salt now. I crave salt. If they would put some red mint on there, make it saltier, man, I'd eat more. Okay, I've got some more questions coming in. Hold on. Let's see. Got a question right here. Why do people think spam hot dogs bologna is cheaper than a good piece of meat?
I guess it depends on where you're shopping. I don't know about spam. I haven't bought spam, so I probably shouldn't use that one. But I can buy hot dogs bologna pretty cheap.
Yeah, it's a volume thing. You can get a lot more hot dogs. I mean, you can get a steak, but then hot dogs will last you for days, right? Because you can do 3 or 4 hot dogs at a time.
The nice thing about hot dogs is they're already cooked, so they're easy to snack on. They're easy to take with you. They're actually a pretty good snack food, and if you can get 100% beef hot dogs with no carbs in them, so.
Okay, making the screen back to us. Oh, sorry, I had left the other one up. Yeah, so
you're fine.
Hot dogs. Someone had asked. So hot dogs, I still eat them. I get the 100% all beef hot dogs from Costco. Shout out to you, Pure Bride, because I know you work there. But I love their hot dogs. And in fact, I started down that road because every Halloween I do what's called Halloweeny at my house, where I roll out the barbecue on the driveway, and I buy a ton of hot dogs and buns, and I meet all my neighbors and give them hot dogs and their kids hot dogs while they're trick or treating instead of candy, and they love it. They come by and they get hot dogs and water at my place. So, but that's how I got into the Costco hot dogs. So now I get those packs, those big multi-pack things, and throw them in the air fryer, and they are in 10 minutes. They're perfect.
I think an answer to this question, and Richard's right, and he pops on our lives a lot. If you do your research and do your shopping, I can eat on this diet quite cheap.
Yeah.
I personally have the ads to all my local grocery stores, Food City, Ingles, Publix, and Kroger, saved in my bookmarks. And I just click in there and say, okay, what do you got on sale this week? And I don't care about all the garbage. I'm just searching out for the meat. Meat's on sale. Look at that. They got ribeye on sale, and drive over there and buy, a bunch of that up. And then I'll throw it, I'll package it up and throw it in the freezer, and then I will that's how I keep my freezer stocked with a good supply of steaks. A good one that always keep an eye out. If you got a Publix, they're kind of pricey on most things, but twice a year they put ribeye roast, ribeye on sale for like $6.99 a pound. Easter and Christmas every year. They've been doing it for years. So if you keep an eye on it and watch when they come out, you just go over there and you get a whole roast, and then you cut it down into steaks. So you can do this diet much cheaper than buying $14, a pound ribeye steaks.
True.
You just gotta be, gotta be frugal and smart about it.
If you buy ground beef in bulk, like at Costco or in the big tubes at Walmart, which is a great place to get it, or wherever, what you do is you get the 1 gallon freezer Ziploc bags, and you break those things down into 1 pound things and then roll them flat. I saw someone do this. It's not my idea. Someone else did it, but you put them in a Ziploc bag, get a rolling pin, roll them flat, and you can stack them in your freezer. And it's way cheaper. It's easy to store, easy to pull out. Question on buns on hot dogs. No, we don't do buns as a carnivore. No buns. No, unless you're going to make your own egg bread, like the protein bread. I've seen those. That's way too much work for me. I've tried it, and it doesn't taste that great. I'm not down with that.
It's too much work for the little bit of results you get out of it.
It is. It's not good enough. By the pound, canned meats are more expensive. Yeah. But like hot dogs, you can get them cheap. So, I mean, I don't really do canned meats too often. But, okay, so
I haven't bought Spam. And I don't even like Spam for that matter. But I couldn't remember the last time we actually bought a can of it. So I couldn't even tell you how much it is.
I have it. So I do that if you're going camping in the Army when I would be in the field. So I'm doing a video this weekend on MREs and survival food and camping. And that's good because it's canned. So that's good for that application, right? You want some survival food? Lose power from the grid, you don't have to worry about that backwood, but we do. So if I lose power, my freezer is going to go down. My fridge is going to go down. I need food in the cabinet. I do have Spam in there. I have canned foods in there. So,
yeah, I love it when I go to work and like, man, the power was out all night. And I said, really? I didn't notice.
Oh, she was teasing. Okay. Chuck roast is cheaper. Yeah. And also if you like ribeyes but can't afford it, look at Chuck Eye steaks if you can find them. That's the tail end of the ribeye, of the ribeye roast, and they are very similar in flavor and texture, and they're cheaper. So,
you know, a chuck steak's normally got enough fat in it that if it's cut, you know, if you don't want a thick chuck steak, you want a thin chuck steak. But I buy them from Food City, and Food City's got a deal where you can get mix 5 for $20.
yeah.
And so I'll get 5 steaks for $20. So it's $4 a steak. They're just shy of a pound. And those are really good eating. And are they, you know, as tender as a ribeye? No, but they're not tough. And they taste really good.
So yeah, so the chuck eye is like right at the end of that roast, that chuck roast, and that's more like a ribeye. So there are some that are going to be more like it.
Yeah, that's that conversion point where you're going from the chuck into
and you'll
the
get some
ribeye.
that are great. All right, my son. Got another question here. Please put Q's in when you're doing questions. It's easier to find. Might sound silly. Is there a difference? Is there a difference in fat? Meaning I'm missing something. I didn't get the whole question. Maybe she entered before.
Ask it again and we'll answer it.
Yeah, ask that question again. I want to go ahead and talk about Mission Carnivore, which is coming up soon. This is my this next Friday, the 22nd, I have a special guest, Dr. Anthony Chafee. He's going to be on my channel, and I'm launching Mission Carnivore. He'll be the first person I interview, and I'm going to share this screen real quick. Let's see. Present. Share screen. Sorry, guys. Takes me a minute. Oh, I don't have that up. So thought I had it up. Yeah, I got it up. Window. There we go. All right. So Anthony Chafee will be on my, you guys probably know him. He's a brilliant doctor and 10-year carnivore. And he's going to be on my channel next Friday, the 22nd, I think it is, at 8 p.m. So guys, make sure you get the word out. I'll be posting it soon. You guys getting the early information here. And this is the veteran experience. So going forward, I'm going to be interviewing veterans that are carnivores, and my focus is on mental health and physical health. But I think you guys know that 22 veterans a day take their own life in America. It's not different in other countries. We have similar suicide problems. So I think a lot of it has to do with the standard American diet. I know my mental health has changed a lot, and we're going to be discussing primarily with Dr. Chafee mental health benefits of the carnivore diet. So want to make sure we focus on that. Okay, let's go back to the questions. So that's my Mission Carnivore coming up next week, first video. Let's see. Any other questions in here?
There's one down here at 8:47, which might be 7:47.
7:48. 7:48. Oh yeah, your time. Your time, right? 7:47. Okay. My time's different. Let's see. 2 questions. Here we go. The 2 questions one?
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah. So I'm not having any dairy other than butter right now. That's one thing I cut out when I went lion. I did keep butter just on my meats. And I do drink bubbly water. I drink Topo Chicos. And I think we have an HEB brand, an off brand of the same thing. And they're both mineral waters. Topo Chico's mineral water from Mexico. And there's a Texas mineral water. I think it's called 1877. Anyway, it's at HEB, and that's a local mineral water too. So you are getting, our ancestors drank water from streams and springs and puddles and ponds that had plenty of minerals in it. So I like to drink mineral waters when I can. So I do drink those. How about you, John?
I don't drink the carbonated waters. Now, I do get spring water, all my water for cooking and drinking and making my coffee. I actually go down to a spring about 10 miles from here and get it directly from a spring there and fill up a couple jugs and bring them back to the house. So that's our water source for drinking and eating. But the wife likes the carbonated waters, and she drinks those. Yeah, they're bubbly. That's what it says on there. Now, as for dairy, I have heavy cream in my coffee, and I may have some cheese on on a burger. But and of course I'm butter. Everybody always, when they talk about dairy, they always like anti-dairy, but then they have butter. I have lots of butter, but I don't have much dairy outside of that. I don't drink any milk. And like I said, the only thing I put, you put some heavy cream in my coffee, and there's some stuff out there that heavy cream doesn't have all the stuff that regular milk has in it because it's cream. It floats to the top. So
yeah, I don't do any flavors in my water, so they're all plain. And I don't, no sweeteners, of course, 0 sweeteners. Those are completely out. And if you've ever struggled with keto, my whole thing was I did keto and it would cycle on and off, and I would be able to lose some weight and then it would come back, and I'd lose some weight and it'd come back. Probably because all these keto foods out there that say keto, right? Quest bars and all these things, and sweet drinks that were 0 calorie because you're doing macro, so the sweetness doesn't matter. It's the macro that you're focusing on the wrong thing, because those are like gateways for me to get back into binging. And every time I did, I'd always slide off. This is the only way of eating I've ever gotten into that all those cravings go away. And there's no temptation for me, which that's a first, to be 6 months into something and not even consider, being tempted by things. So, getting serious about it. And if it depends what you want. If you want 6 months to completely change your life, then I think that's the way to get serious about it and cut all those things out. And then, in 6 months, you can evaluate and say, hey, maybe I'll add this back in. Right. And that's what my plan was. But now that I'm here, I don't want to add it in. I don't care. It's like, I don't need to anymore. And I have no interest in doing chicken wings or bacon, not as much. I mean, it's weird how your body completely changes, and your whole attitude does. Anyway, for me, what about you, John? What do you think?
I don't do the sweeteners. I was doing sweeteners. I did Splenda for a long time, thinking that was better. But what I've discovered is your body tastes sweet and it's going to react to it. It doesn't care if it's sugar. It doesn't care what the sweetness is. Your body's immediately going to start, preparing for the incoming, load of glucose that it thinks that is coming. So your body's going to jack up your body on it. And your liver is a great mechanism in your body, but it can only handle so much stuff at one time. And if you're throwing in a bunch of fake sweetener in your diet, your liver's got to filter that crap out before it can start dealing with it, with the rest of its functions. And so there's a lot of incoming, chemicals. And that's one of the reasons this diet works great, is because we eliminate all those. Sweeteners is a chemical. Most of those sweeteners are a chemical. Maybe monk fruit, a couple others are natural, but there's still some question in it. Your liver's got to deal with it before it can get back to the job at hand of burning fat. So I highly recommend not using sweeteners at all.
100%. They're going to elicit an insulin response, even if it's not sugar, and even if there's nothing for that insulin to do, it's going to respond. You're going to get it. Okay, we got Callie's question now. She finished typing it for you, so it's for you, John. Is there a difference in fats, like ribeye trimmings or fat cut off the sheets from a cow? In sheets from a cow.
So that's a long conversation that we could have, but there's a lot of different fats on any animal. There's exterior fat that helps them with staying warm. There's fat that's inside of their muscles. Some of your fats are going to be better. So fat that's cut from the ribeye and stuff actually going to be a better tasting to you than say some of the more tougher pieces that you're going to get down off of the legs of the animal. So some of your roasts and stuff are they're considered lean, but that fat that surrounds it is going to be pretty rough to eat. So most definitely some fats are better than others for flavor.
I think the main difference is like one's subcutaneous, the other one's visceral. Visceral being in the muscles kind of, and the subcutaneous is like under the skin, and the visceral is the better, right? The in the muscle.
The viscerals is what gives you that marbling, which makes your meat tender and to chew on. Yeah. And then the other one is more of a protective layer that helps with regulating body temperature and giving some pliability to it. So it's like that's where they get a lot of their energy from too. So
Pioneer Spirit, eating all meats, no grains, no fruits and veggies, no treats and junk food, just meats and dairy. Be hitting day 30 this Friday. Nice, you're on your way, man. You get,
Yeah,
I got a video on the first 30 days, the second 30 days, and the last 30 days of your 90-day transition, because that's what it really is. So check out my day 30 to 60 if you haven't already. It'll kind of help you get your mindset going in.
day 30 is like you just realized you're in a Ferrari and you're doing 60
Yeah.
miles an hour and it's smooth as glass. You know, from
Yeah.
here it gets so much better.
That's for sure. Let's see. So someone uses some sweetener. I mean, you know, everyone's different. I don't, because it makes me crave. So here's the other thing I noticed when I was using artificial sweeteners. By 6 p.m. every night, I had cravings. So if you ever have cravings every night for something sweet, or even for snacking, it could be because sweeteners. So that may be something you want to consider cutting out. Just saying. I'm not the only person. I know other people had the same experience. So I'm just telling you mine, though. Let's see.
The only thing that I consume that actually that has some sweetener in it is elemental, because they do some sweetening in there, because I can't drink the raw one. It's just way too salty.
Have you tried the Redmond version, Relight? It has no
No, I
sweetener
haven't tried it yet.
It's pretty good. I mean, I don't do either one of them, but I tasted it because I wanted to see what it's like. It's pretty good, actually.
I drink elementals if I'm heavily sweating. When I first started, I was drinking them pretty much daily.
Yeah.
You know, at least one a day. But now I drink it when I've been outside working and I've been sweating and, you know, and losing you know, hydration. Then I will drink that to help build up my hydration.
That's cool. Let's see. I'm going to do another banner here.
And that comment you got up there, that's 100% true. You're going to get, you know, an insulin spike. You know, no matter what it is, your body's going to react to it, and it's going to start releasing insulin.
Okay, we're getting close to the end of our stream. It's only scheduled for an hour. We got till 8:05. I do want to introduce one other thing here, is Save Maggie's Ranch. And I don't know if you guys know about this, but Maggie's a farmer. She raises cattle up in Canada. And she was on Dr. Anthony Chaffee's video a couple months ago, I think. And she's like 83. That girl there is like 83 years old. And she's been ranching her whole life and a carnivore for her whole adult life. So all she eats is meat. Anyway, so her ranch is in trouble because the Canadian government is being kind of crazy. And their goal is to get to $50,000 Canadian dollars. If you can afford to, and you're inclined to, check out her story. I would go to Dr. Chaffee's channel and type in Maggie and find some videos and see about it. She's got an amazing story, and it shows you that you can be in your 80s and be midlife. That's what she's talking about. So Dr. Chaffee says she moves like a 30-year-old in the ranch, going after bulls and wrangling them. I'd love to see that, man. An 83-year-old, because my dad's not that old, and he moves around like an old man. You know, I'm like, man, if I can, because right now I can tell you, at 57, I'm 57 years old. I feel and I move more like a 30-year-old now than I did in my 40s or early 50s. I guarantee you that. I can move quick now. I've been doing wind sprints. I'm not even lifting weights. I'm just doing body weight exercises and some band exercises. And I can tell you, if this is the way it's going to be, I've got a long, healthy, healthy life ahead of me, which I'm really excited. So I'm going to drop this into the chat so you guys can take a look at it. And I recommend you do. Let's help Maggie out if we can. I've already donated just because, you know, I can, and I believe in her, you know, helping carnivores, and she's helping other people too. That, you know, we got to maintain our meat stock out there. We got to maintain these farmers who struggle because it's not profitable. So until meat becomes popular again, I guess.
It's an amazing story. You guys definitely need to look into it. Hey, Callie, if you got any more questions, feel free to reach out to either one of us. You can email me at carnivorebackwoods@gmail.com. You know, you got some great questions, and we definitely want to make sure that you have the answers to what you need there.
Right. Yeah, and you know, we are winding down, and just make sure that you like and subscribe to the videos and check out our other videos, both me and Carnivore Backwoods. So here's the deal. I can reach people and relate to people that he can't, and he can relate to people that I'm not a homesteader. he might be able to. I'm a military guy, so I relate to veterans and law enforcement. He relates to a different group of people. We all need support so that our message gets out there. So that
I'm a redneck in the woods.
Yeah. When someone gets to that video, they're going to see it and go, "Oh, look at that hat. Look at the tractor he's sitting on. That's my kind of guy." And they go to me, they'll go, "Hey, look at the flag back there. This is my kind of guy." Whatever it is, it doesn't matter what it is, but we all have our own little niche, and it's important that we all get. Oh wow, a super chat! Thank you, man. That's my first super chat. You're number one, Coppers. That's awesome.
That's awesome. Here, guys, check out this T-shirt here. I'm a redneck.
Yep.
This is my own design. I can put this back up on my shirt if people or Etsy store if people want it. Hey, vegetarians, my food poops on your food.
I love that, man. That's a great one. I didn't know that was yours. I knew you were showing. I didn't know you'd actually done that, sir. That's good.
Yeah, I had a YouTube or not a YouTube, but I had an Etsy store up for a long time, sold shirts, and I kind of took it down. I put it back up now. I just did a design for my channel. I put it up there, and I still have all these designs, and I'm thinking about putting the shirt back up because it fits the what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's for sure, man. So we both do have like shirt stores too. If you want to get cool shirts and support us, we don't make lots of money on YouTube, but barely any at all. Actually, I have not really made money. That's my first $20. My first super chat.
I definitely probably spend more.
Yeah, he froze up again. We're spending more than we're making for sure. So this is my mission is Mission Carnivore. He's got his mission, and we're actually out here to help people because we've been blessed by so much that we want to pay it forward. So really appreciate you guys' support and being here this whole time. It means a lot to us, guys. It really does. How many subs before you can sell them on the channel? I don't know. You have to have a store set up separate.
If you hit 500 subs and 3,000 watch hours, I think you can directly off the channel. But I much rather use an offsite because you're not paying because YouTube is going to get their cut. You don't realize how much YouTube on that $20 is taking $6 of it.
Yep, I have no idea. You're probably right. So
yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's 30%. So I'm pretty sure that they're going to get $6 of your 20.
All right. So let's see. You got any more questions we can answer? Because we got about 5 more minutes left, or 2 or 3 minutes left. We can answer.
Yeah,
if you guys
Sunday afternoon after church, 1:00. Come out and see us. We're going to have Carnivore Soldier. We're going to have Wick Goes Carnivore. We're going to have Mike Shaw, who's on the comments in there, and we're going to have JT from Poco Moonshine and myself. And we're going to discuss different cuts of meat and things that we can buy at in our local areas. And then we'll probably have a discussion about the 24-hour live since it'll be the day after. Yeah. And we'll be there to answer questions. So please mark your calendars and jump in on your favorite channel and help support us.
It's 1:00 Eastern Standard Time too. So if you're in Central Time or Mountain Time, pay attention, or Pacific Time, or
it's 1 p.m. Eastern, and that gives us, I know it's some early hours for the West Coast, but it gives us some decent hours also into Europe and Germany, and we had some people from Denmark and went on in the last one, so that was good.
No, Copper's Kitchen, I really, you're now got a special place because you're the first person to ever give me a super chat, and I'm excited. I'm not complaining that YouTube's getting paid that. And if you want a super chat, I appreciate it. We're not complaining at all. And YouTube deserves it because they give us this platform to talk on. So listen, none of us here talking in this chat, including me and John, would have ever met each other if it wasn't for YouTube. So I am thankful for YouTube. I am not bad talking about that. And if you guys want to super chat us, that's fine. That's not a problem.
No, we appreciate it because, everything we do is out of our own pocket, so it helps us a little bit and keeps the channel moving and gives us the ability to do what we love doing. So,
yep. All right, cool. Well, I think that's all we got, guys. Mike put up the times. Here's the time that's going to be if you guys need to know. It'll be noon my time in Austin, Texas. I think that's all we got. So let's go ahead and sign off, I'm just going to tell you all like I normally do. Stay strong and overcome. Carnivore Soldier, out.
All right.